So we've been talking about Batman and all the amazing things Batman can do. I'm here with the Seattle Guardian, real-life superhero, Phoenix Jones. And Phoenix, I have some questions about some things that Batman seems to be able to do in the comics. And it's always portrayed as like, hey, Batman has no superpowers, right? Batman has no superpowers. He's just like a regular guy. But it's not that realistic when it comes down to like real life superheroing, is it? There's a little bit of a difference, right?
It depends on your level of dedication. I mean,
okay.
I've tried a lot of Batman-esque things and had some very interesting results. So.
And I know about that. That's why you're here, and I'm hoping to drill down to some of those stories. Batman is portrayed as like the world's greatest martial artist. I don't know, we never really get to see him train unless we're told his origin, but like how much do you have to train? Like you're a martial artist, like how much would you say you train on like an average day or an average week? How much do you have to train to be a good martial artist?
Well, I guess it depends on in-season and off-season, right? The thing that makes Batman unrealistic isn't that he's in great shape or that he's training. Let me put it to you this way. When I get ready for a fight, I take 6 to 8 weeks and I train 5 hours a day for 6 to 8 weeks. I eat a certain regimen to make sure I'm in a certain shape. And I can't do anything else. I mean, once I'm done training, I can't go patrol because I'm tired. And I'm a guy who doesn't even like to sleep. And it progresses to a point where you can't do that and keep it up. So to say you're doing that for 10 years is questionable. What you can do is...
Every day.
Right.
Every single day he's out there.
Yeah. You can maintain a certain level though. Right? Like I have basic disarm, hand-to-hand combat skills that will get me through a lot of conflicts. I mean, I've disarmed a lot of people, but at the same time, I mean, it's not a livable, realistic lifestyle. I mean, that's why fighters only fight 3 times a year, because it takes us 8 weeks to get there.
Even though you patrol a lot, you're not going out every single day.
No. We go out Wednesday. Well, you can. I did that for 2 years.
All right.
I went out every single day for 2 years. But what stopped me was I got hospitalized with exhaustion,
it takes a toll.
tetanus from a stab wound, and and many other things. And I got fired from a job. I mean, a ton of things. It was a very, very difficult choice.
It'd be easier if you were a millionaire.
Yeah, you fall asleep once in your car in a bulletproof suit, and people freak out. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Batman is also portrayed as, he's not just the greatest martial artist, he's also the world's greatest detective. He's always able to show up like right as a crime is being committed. You know, he's like, if there's a mugging or something like that, Batman is there. Are you always there in the nick of time?
Man, I would honestly say that there's not too many crimes that I show up late to.
Sure.
I miss them entirely.
Right.
So it's either
you're either there or you're not there.
But the best thing about being not there is that you don't know. Like the weirdest ones are like you'll jog by a street, and then you'll go down a block, another block, back up the block, and cops are there. And you're like, man, I'm glad you cops are on the scene. Excuse me, you know. And you're like, I'm glad I showed up to this party.
Batman is a millionaire. He's a millionaire.
Yeah.
So he's got like amazing vehicles. His boat, his plane, he's got the Batmobile. He's got an amazing car, and he's got like the most powerful computer in the world. What do you have for a vehicle? What do you have for a computer?
Wow. Okay, so I have to answer this in parts. Okay?
All right, break it down.
When I started fighting crime, I had a Nokia flip phone that went on the internet but had the little globe and like circled.
Crime-fighting phone.
It didn't even have an app. Like, didn't even do apps. Like, it was for real.
Oracle, find me some crime.
Really, really bad. And I mean, I went that way for 4 or 5 years. I mean, when I first met Chris, I was really broke. Like, broke. But recently...
You went through a few different vehicles.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I put hundreds of thousands of miles on my vehicle. Like, for real. Like, I mean, every car I ran through was just, it was ridiculous.
What was the worst Phoenix Mobile or Phoenix transportation?
Oh,
what was the worst?
The Geo Prism.
The Geo Prism.
We had a Geo Prism, and none of the doors worked but the passenger door.
Yeah.
Like, at all. Like, so they didn't open, the windows didn't roll, nothing. So all the supers would pile in. I had 5 guys because no one else drove. We all would get into the passenger side in this car, and we'd see a crime, and we'd have to jump out the sunroof.
Push each other out. Batman has often a teenage sidekick dressed brightly to take the gunfire away from him. But it makes me wonder, who is like maybe the weirdest or worst?
The platypus.
That's the worst real-life superhero?
The platypus.
What was the platypus? Describe the platypus.
So, 2014, I have open trials for my squad. And we meet up on top of this QFC place. I stop my first crime. I give this really cool lecture as we're standing on top of the building. about how crime could be crazy. And this guy shows up in a duckbill mask with a little beaver-looking tail and this utility belt with these balloons hanging off it, right? And, and I walk up to him like, all right, what's your name? And he's like, the platypus. And I'm like, your real name? He's like, undisclosed. No one knows. And I'm like, time out. You don't even know? And he's like, but people don't know I know. I'm like, people know that you know. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm like, you're going to have to show some identification. So I finally got him to show identification to my camera guy, not to me, because he still wouldn't show me who he was. We're out there, we're getting ready, and he starts walking, and we realize he got these balloons hanging off him. We're like, dude, what are those balloons? He's like, oh, they're my secret potions. We're like, yeah, that could be illegal. I'm not going to let you walk around with handmade potions. Like, what is in there? And he's like, I'm not telling you, it's secret. I'm like, well, then you're done, you're fired. And he's like, all right, bro, I'll tell you. It's weak old urine. Just like shit.
I will admit that I would not want to be hit by that. But if I didn't know what was coming,
so
I wouldn't necessarily be scared of a guy running around with water balloons. I wouldn't naturally assume that he's carrying a weak old
And then the best part too is right after he's done saying that, we had Mist at the time, and Mist is like a 6'7" ex-naval officer, like the real deal, you know. And Mist goes, yeah, you're fired. And the guy goes, come on, man. He rips his duckbill off, throws it on the ground. He goes, come on, man. You know how hard it was to pee in all those balloons, bro? And we're just
I didn't even think about that aspect of it.
You're so done.
All right. Wasn't there also at some point a guy who thought that he had a force field? Who was that? I'm only vaguely remember. This is a couple years ago that you told me about that.
This guy was great. Okay, I'm not going to give his name because he's still active in the community.
Really?
And I don't want to do that. But I will tell you the story. It's great. This superhero guy, we're getting shot at for real, like real bullets, real drama, real problems.
What's the issue? Well, the issue is that I was over there being mobbed by people, and I couldn't hear what code you were, so I freaked out because gunshots! Hey, where'd it come from?
That way, go that way.
Hey, we got gunshots! I need a 911 call right now. We got gunshots.
So the first thing you do when you're getting shot at is you find cover, and not like a wood bench like in a movie. Like you find a steel or cement, not even a car sometimes, because they'll go through most of the doors of cars.
Whatever is near you.
Yeah, you got to get covered. So I'm ducking down, and this dude looks at me and he goes, Jones, behind me. And he starts walking like that with his arms flexed up, and I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, it's okay, it's my power. I've got a force field.
He had a force field.
And of course, the dude's done shooting. So of course, we run over. We actually ended up tackling the bad guy, which was pretty cool. Actually, it was my first gun takedown, like legitly. I had punched another guy in the face who had a gun, but he just dropped his gun. This was like a tackle disarm, right? So the cops roll up and they're like, "Man, you guys are idiots." We're like, "Thank you, appreciate it. Thanks for saying we're doing good work." And and then I want to talk to him. He's like, "Yeah, I didn't want to tell you about it, but I think you've seen the skills now." He's like, "I was out shooting, and I was shooting my gun at a target, and I never hit the target." And I thought to myself, how is that possible? Because I'm so good at everything I do. He goes, I realized the bullets are pushing away from the force field I create. So at that point, I had my friend shoot at me, and it didn't hit me. And I realized I have a force field.
It's almost as though some people that decide to dress up as a superhero might not be mentally stable.
Shut your face. Of course they're not mentally stable. Look, there's different types of superheroes. When you wake up and you say, you know what I want to do today? I want to go fight crime and dress like Batman or something, you're an idiot. Like, my suit evolved over practicality. My original suit was just jeans, no shirt, and a ski mask. But a black dude running around with a ski mask on doesn't make white people go, oh, that's a good idea. So it
evolved into a fedora and a lady's white belt.
Dude, people love Zorro, right?
People love Zorro.
The old Zorro, the mask. I mean, I was like, I'm stealing from old stuff, right? Don Diego de la Vega style, Nick at Night. And, I was ready to go, but yeah, it got progressively worse. No capes. Capes were bad.
Capes don't work. So
first fight I was in, cape got wrapped around my face. I got yanked to the ground and kicked in the stomach. But the guy didn't have any cardio, so when he got tired, I whooped his ass. But I took a good ass whooping for like 3 minutes there.
Batman gets to be on top of a building, see crime below, he like rappels down in a second. But you have a story of like when you were on like about the third story of like I think a parking garage and saw a crime?
Yeah, that was in Belltown actually. I was on top of a parking garage in Belltown. It's at Third and Bell, right next to the Bell Tower.
Right.
And I'm up on top of this building. I knew the building guy. He used to let me park inside the building in their garage, and I would go up to the top of the building and just peer off and gaze at the crowd of people. It was, useless, but entertaining. And I just started my own parkour. I used to do parkour in Seattle at Parkour Vision, so I'm all about this. And there's a like a turny scaffold that goes down the side.
They were doing some construction.
Yeah, there was construction on it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like super stable, but I saw a crime and I'm like, you know, this works for every superhero. So I'm running off the thing, I grab a pipe, which isn't even necessary to grab, I could have made the jump anyways, and just swing. I land on the scaffolding, the minute I do the bottom, and I just tumble every single stair. And then when I get to the very bottom, I fall like flat backed on the ground. The wind gets knocked out of me, but I still have to fight the crime. So I get up and I look at the girl. I'm like, stop! I can't breathe. And I'm trying to chase him. So the dude books it. Nothing happened to the girl, which is actually good. She didn't get her stuff stolen. And I just puked like right in front of her.
I didn't know about that.
And she's like, are you all right?
My hero.
And she asked me what my name was, and I was like, Timothy Drake. And she's like, oh, that's so awesome. I'm like, yeah. And I was so embarrassed by how badly I had saved this crowd. I didn't want to tell her I was Phoenix Jones. I remember I went home actually. I don't think I finished patrol. I just went and got back in my car and was just like, this was so stupid.
Batman has all these gadgets that work out great for him. He's got the Batarang. He's got like the bulletproof suit. He's got, you know, a belt that has every tool he ever seems to need.
Yep.
What are some actual tools that have not worked for you in the past?
Oh, you ready for a list, buddy? Get it out.
Let's go.
Let's see.
What's proven not to work well?
Throwing stars.
Throwing stars.
Throwing stars don't work out. There's actually zero legality for using a throwing star unless you use it as a paperweight in the city of Seattle. So carrying throwing stars got me arrested once. No charges filed.
Oops.
Yeah, the net gun.
Net gun.
Dude, the net gun. I'm chasing this guy, and he's running, and I'm running right behind him. I pull up this net gun, and what I don't realize with this thing is it's supposed to be shot from like hunting boar. If they're running on the ground, you shoot it down, and they tangle themselves up. So I'm chasing this guy, and I'm super fast. So the wind resistance opens this thing, and I run right into it, it nets me.
Oh.
And I roll up and end up face down in like a little drainage ditch with like this much water in it. But my arms are pinned like this behind my body, and I'm drowning in this water. And
You almost killed yourself.
I thought I was going to die. Like,
You're your own
real.
supervillain.
Yeah, like I thought I was going to die. And this dude grabs me, and he turns me over, and and it's the guy I'm chasing. And he grabs my wallet, takes my money out, reads my name to me, and then goes, punches me right in the face. And he's like, you know what, man? He's like, maybe you should give up fighting crime. Maybe it's not for you, you know? Condoms save lives. Maybe we just need that kind of rubber.
Batman has very colorful villains that are brought out by him.
So
and stuff.
does
You know,
real
he's
life.
got Scarecrow and Riddler, etc. You know,
Yeah.
have you had arch enemies or people that try to be arch enemies?
For sure. Some of the I'll start from the more serious and get to the funny. But
All right.
the more serious is we had Scarlet. Scarlet was actually this guy in Belltown. He had an R. It's like a R, almost like a hole punch. And he would rob people by stamping them with this R, and they'd scream and drop whatever they had. He'd steal with the iPhones and whatever. He'd stash them and then let the cops bust him. And then when he got out, he'd pawn the stuff for money and spend all his money as long as he could, and then go back to robbing people. We got this guy like 6 or 7 different times. It was pretty crazy. And he would monologue.
He just kept breaking out of Arkham.
And he would monologue, which was the best part. He would just be like, "You got me, Jones. You and your friends, but my whole punch will be back." And he
liked it.
He was, oh yeah, it was his thing. He was insane.
I like that that's where you're starting with your serious. Now I got to hear, like...
Well, we had Arsonic as well.
Arsonic?
Yeah,
Oh,
Arsonic.
yeah.
This guy used to light like garbage pails on fire next to buildings and stuff. And like sometimes the buildings would actually catch on fire.
Yeah,
Right?
It's arson.
No, it was definitely arson. And he would write, we thought his name was Arsenic, but it was Arsonic because he's fast. He would write it on the ground. And then he would light it on fire.
Okay.
And we were trying to figure this out. And a cop comes up to me, and the cop goes, "Hey, Phoenix, you know Batman brings out the Joker, right? Maybe you bring out Arsonic." He's like, "Do you mind if we just follow you around? Because you're getting to these fires, and they're still on fire." And I was like, "Sure." 1 hour into my patrol, I post on Facebook, I'm going on patrol, in the same neighborhood I was going. 1 hour in, this dude in a bowling shirt with flames on and a hockey mask comes running by with a huge can of gas.
It was Guy Fieri.
It looked like a gayer version of Guy Fieri.
Gayer? Wow.
He had like orange spiky hair and like it was really weird. And he got caught and it was ridiculous. It turned out he was like a 15-year-old middle school student.
Aww.
It was really, really, really weird.
Yeah. This is going from funny to sad now.
Yeah, it was really sad, yeah. Let's think of some other ones. We've had real gangs, though. We had a Belltown gang that was actually selling crack and robbing people, and they shot at us several times. That was legitimate. And, over time, you'd just be able to shut those down.
Yeah.
Scary.
Some of the
weirder ones, man. We had fish sticks.
fish sticks?
This guy had a giant fish suit.
This sounds like it's just a setup for a pun. Is this real?
No, yeah, for real.
All right.
He had a giant fish stick suit, and he would just jump around yelling fish sticks and like mess up our patrols. And it was so annoying and so distracting, we couldn't get anything done. We had Raw Dog. He used to run around. Yeah, he used to run around and pay people to sell him condoms. Then they'd be like, "You don't need a condom. I'll give you $1 if you give me your condom and prove that you Raw Dog." That's
not really a crime.
No, it was just socially
just annoying.
weird.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of the League of Inconvenience though was my favorite.
I don't know the League of Inconvenience.
Okay, so I would get a letter in like a comic book shop because comic book shops around the city would catch my mail for me. So I'd get these letters and I'd open them and it would be like, "I'm in this danger. This is what's happening. I really, really need your help. And go f yourself, Phoenix Jones, League of Inconvenience." And they were all over. Like, I dropped to Tacoma to pick up my letter. You know, have to get all suited up to keep my identity secret, park a mile away, walk in, and I'd open a box to another box to another box to another box. It would have like a drawn picture of a dick in it, and it would say, "Phoenix, you've been inconvenienced."
Batman is like best buds with Commissioner Gordon. The police are like, "Yeah, Batman, do our job for us." What's your relationship right now with the police? I know it's sort of changed back and forth. What's your relationship with the police in Seattle?
We're good. I mean,
get along pretty well right now?
Really, actually, we're solid.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to a police cookout a while back, and I went to another police officer's kid's birthday party. I don't do birthday parties. This was a special occasion. But I mean, we're good. But originally, it was not good.
But it heads a little at the beginning.
Oh, they would arrest us on sight. They tried to call us a benevolent gang and arrest us, which is a crazy term, a benevolent gang. But anything they can label as a gang, you can get arrested for in the city for flying your colors.
Right.
Ours is a non-colored city. You can't walk around and be like, wear blood colors and say blood. You just can't. So they specified us as a gang for a long time. It took a lot of lawyers actually to get us out of the gang specification.
You were kind enough to wear the cowl because I'm a fan of your cowl look. But you don't really wear the cowl that much anymore.
You see, the problem with the cowl is I don't know if you can see how much you can see on here, but when I lift up the side, we help lift that up? Turn it that way. See this? There's nothing in here that slides.
It's just rubber.
It's sticky, it's rubber, it provides no protection. And you can't really turn your head if your shoulders are up or if your hands are up if you're drawing a weapon. It just doesn't really turn. So what I have to be doing is, and that's just an impractical.
Yeah.
So I mean.
Well, and plus there's not a lot of protection to it.
Wow. Plus, when
whoa! This is an exclusive! Oh my God! He's revealed his secret identity.
Yeah, the government did that one for me.
Yeah,
the government did that one for me. But as you can see, we've been in this for like what 3 minutes right here, and I am sweating balls. Like this is totally.
It's not that comfortable.
No, what I actually wear is something more like this. So what I switched it out to is actually I went and got a bike helmet. And then inside the bike helmet,
kind of makes sense.
We lined the inside of this with like a tank armor kind of deal in here.
Here, pick it up so that they can see it.
With like you line the inside here with like tank armor.
Yeah.
And there's like little bulletproof pads that go in between here, even though it won't stop a bullet. I found out anyway.
Because people could simply like throw rocks at you when you were like, say, like a Mayday patrol or something.
Oh, for sure. I got hit with a meat tenderizer. It was actually the worst one.
So now this.
So this kind of comes up, and then this stays down for the pepper spray and things like that. And I've actually got a little guard you can put down here to actually seal it off, so the nose stays up in the upper part. And it's way more practical. So this is a medieval gauntlet right here, right? It's actually not even designed for fighting crime, but the ridges are supposed to pull knives out during a knife attack, and I've actually used it several times. I was shocked, and not even on purpose. You just block, the knife comes on, catches the serrated edge, and it just comes right off. So that was kind of cool.
That is cool.
So we ditched the gauntlets, and we'll kind of ditch things step by step here. As you can see when I roll it up, this is just like a rubber polymer, but it's got D3O in it, which is material that gets harder when you hit it. So it kind of tenses up on your body, which is pretty cool.
Good for punches, at least.
Yeah. The problem with it is when you're running, if you get going, you can freeze, which is really weird. Especially the legs, you'll like freeze in position, and it's like because it's like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's weird. Like push it a little bit. Right? Now like hit it. See, it
just stops.
You feel it get harder? That's not me though. That's the suit. So but the problem with
it is him.
As I unclip over here.
I'll undo you.
You unclip me.
Yeah.
Perfect.
This isn't like the bat pole that Batman just slides down in his suit.
It comes out.
This takes a minute.
No, this takes a while. Yeah, good armor takes a second.
Show what the armor is here.
So this is my old armor here. Okay?
Bulletproof vest.
This is the bulletproof vest. It's pretty standard issue. This one is, it's got the stabs in it. The plate fits right in the little cup top piece here. This will stop most of your small arms fire and any knife in the front area, right? That's my girl's vest right here. Yeah, and post. And this is my girl's vest right here. But it's clunky, it's kind of big, right?
You get a sense of like, it's not huge.
It's not super flexible either.
No, not flexible, and reasonably heavy. Yeah.
But what you have here is you have it with
and
the
that's
base.
for female. Like a male one.
A male one's about 7 or 8 pounds. And you've got 7 or 8 pounds of this, then you've got arm guards on. You're 20 pounds of armor. This one's removable because it's mine and we were testing out how to fit it. But
look at
this
that.
is it.
That's
look at
interesting. I mean, it's close to paper thin. It's very
so thin.
And it's thinner than like a phone.
For sure. My iPhone next to it.
Yeah.
I mean, look, my iPhone is a lot bigger. I don't know if you can see that.
Sort of.
I'll turn it that way.
And then show the texture. Like this is interesting. Like, oh, good. See how it's like gridded like that? Why is that gridded?
Yeah. So each one of these little squares that you see when you kind of bring it closer, I do love this. Is my favorite part. Each one of these little squares, it deflects the energy. It goes and spreads. So when you get shot, the bullet only comes back at a 0.24 deflection. Right, a real vest comes back at like another type of vest will do 0.44. So to give you like a little thing, if you're getting shot, you're gonna get penetrated this much with mine. You're gonna get penetrated this much with the other. And I've been shot twice. The first time I got shot in World War II flak jacket armor because I was broke.
Thick.
It broke my rib. It knocked me down. I rolled under a dumpster and spent like a couple hours probably whimpering under a dumpster. I passed out, came back to consciousness, and then walked to the Kia of Justice and left. And with the armor, you should cut to the armor video. There's a video of me shooting some armor and kind of checking it out. We'll link it at the bottom as well.
Sounds good.
All right, brother.
Thank you very much.
Be safe.
You be safe.
I can't promise. I'll try.
Here's my question about this show. They basically like sort of beg you to patrol, and they made some silly costumes, and you guys went out on patrol.
Absolutely.
The comic book men.
Yeah.
You end up at some point in the episode just like walking away, and it looks like you're irritated with them. Was that legit?
Oh, I was really mad.
I'm sorry, guys.
He's sorry.
It's
He's
Glenn.
sorry.
What the you say?
Yep, all right. I'm done, dude.
But that's
I'm
it?
gonna wait over here. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So basically,
You were mad.
I wanted to. Okay, I don't do like comedy. Like we're friends. We're actually friends. Like the only reason I would do any kind of podcast of any kind that's funny or humor based, is because we're buddies.
You know somebody, yeah.
Yeah, we're buddies. We're friends. We don't know each other, and you're gonna put me on national TV. So they made it really clear. I was like, I'm not going if there's not gonna be crime. If we're not gonna do anything, they're like, well, we don't really want to patrol. We just want to make outfits and be like funny. I'm like, no.
You didn't want to do that.
No, absolutely not.
They sort of strong-armed you?
No, they're like, so I said, we'll go on patrol for real. And they go, okay, well, we'll go on patrol, but we have to go around the comic book shop. And I said, all right, fine. I'll lead the patrol. We go around the comic shop.
It was at night. It's Jersey.
Yeah, they sent me this Jersey. They sent me a crime map, and there was like crime littered everywhere.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Right, but what I didn't realize was that was the crime for the entire year.
Oh,
actually, there's only 2 or 3 crimes like a week. Like it just looked littered with crime if you take a whole year's worth of stats. You know? Yeah. And there was everything on there was nondescript. It just said crime. It didn't break down to car thefts or accidents or anything.
So they weren't too interested in actually patrolling.
So we
just wanted to dress up.
Yeah, we go on patrol, and I mean, they're yelling at a little kid on a skateboard.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get that it's funny. The kid doesn't know that it's a
He just sees some weirdos yelling at him at night.
Right. And they're dressed up in these outfits, and the dad came out at one point, he's like, what are you doing? And they're like, hey, we're shooting a television show. And then they signed a release, and they paid people a couple $100. Gotcha. But up until that point, it's legit. A guy speeding down the street, so I turn and I kind of look at him, and they flag the guy down, and this huge dude gets out of the car. He's like, I'm about to whoop everybody's ass. And I'm like, all right, I guess we're going to have to fight. And I started walking towards him, like, no. And I was like, okay, I'm a little lost. This guy ran up on us, and that guy got weird. And I mean, it was just, people were in the park, and it looked like it was actually a drug deal. I got kind of excited. And we got closer to it, and they're shooting marbles. Who shoots marbles?
Wow.
Like they're playing a legitimate marble
So you had
shooting
fallen
game.
through a time warp.
It was
back into the 1920s.
It was crazy. Like we were in the safest place of all time. And then I was like, at the end of the thing, I actually left to shoot a couple hours early. Yeah. They threatened if I didn't come back and shoot some of the middle scenes that they were gonna actually get me in trouble for violating the contract. Because as you know, when I get pissed, I get pissed.
You will just shut down and walk away.
I have a temper. I have a temper.
You don't really always have a temper where you yell at people.
Well, I don't need
You just sort of.
Yeah, why would I yell at you? If we have different views and different beliefs, it's not my job to convince you. It's my job to do my job. So when you're stopping me, I'm just going to go do my job. So I left. I got in my car and I started driving. The production crew followed me, and we went down into deep Jersey. And we're down in Jersey by these like dockish area with like water containers and crates.
Yeah, sure.
And the minute we park, we hear gunshots. And I'm like, this is epic. right?
You're gonna solve a real crime. You're gonna get
Totally
involved.
gonna solve a real crime. We start walking around down there, and within about 5 minutes, the cops and security show up super deep, and they're like, yeah, you can't wear this. This is actually the what do you call it? The Port Authority property.
Oh,
and they made us
different
leave. They made
jurisdiction.
us
There was
leave.
somebody there, yeah.
And at that point, the production crew got the security manager, and they came down and were like, we're going to send you home. We are not going to pay you. We will scrap the episode. You are not allowed to do this. And then that's when we shot the scene of us talking about crime in the book. So
Wow.
yeah.
So what do you have coming up? Do you, fights, comic books?
Yes.
What do you have coming up?
I have a
What
fight
can
coming
people
up in the next 2 months. I can't tell you where, contract stuff.
Where can they follow you on social media so that they can
Everything
find out?
is the same. The Phoenix Jones. You want to find me on Facebook? Facebook/The Phoenix Jones. You want to find me on Twitter?
Instagram,
The Phoenix Jones. Instagram?
Twitter.
The Phoenix Jones. Snapchat? I don't have a
put it down
Snapchat
here.
because you people ruined my Snapchat. I don't like boob shots. I don't want them, and my girl doesn't want them.
You
And
changed.
I got shit to do. Like, it was really bad.
So they can look on the Phoenix Jones. You'll have
Absolutely.
a fight coming up real soon. You had a comic book. Where could people get that? Do they have to like follow you on social media? To ask
Yeah,
about
I'm the
that
only
too?
one who sells that comic book. It's held
Alright.
in the exclusive store of myself.
Yeah.
So if you,
Autobiography.
if you want it, come get it, which is cool.